Hello, welcome back to Project Mastery Podcast. We will be covering concepts in the context of organization in today's episode. As an employee of an organization, one needs to understand every organization is going to be unique and it comes with organization culture, organization structure, organization governance, project governance. It is important that you need to understand these terms. Let's talk about organization governance. Organization governance sits at a strategic level. You provide a highest level oversight. You want to ensure ethics compliance happens. There is always alignment with the strategy. Organization governance is going to ensure that the organization always complies with ethics and whatever work that you do is aligned with strategy. This is the topmost authority in the organization. It includes the board of directors, executives, corporate policies, compliance frameworks. The purpose of this governance is to set direction, ensure alignment with the organization strategy, manage risk and oversee accountability. This is the enterprise level governance layer which focuses on aligning the projects with value delivery and is going to provide a strategic direction which is important for an organization. Organization governance will set the rules of the game. It's going to set the rules and define how the projects must be aligned with the organization's mission, how the project must be aligned with the organization's vision, how the project must be aligned with the laws as well as stakeholder interest. The rules and boundaries are being set here within which the projects, programs and portfolios need to operate. Org governance or organization governance refers to the entire structure of the organization. It impacts project governance as well as the business environment where project operates. Policies need to be in place to govern how the work is being performed in organization. Procedures need to be in place to govern how the work needs to be performed in organization. Work performed in organization must meet the strategic plan. How do you govern them? We need the organization governance here. Policies and procedures need to be in place for portfolio management. Similarly, we should be having policies and procedures for program management as well as for project management. How do you handle operations in an organization? Who is responsible for ensuring the organization work is completed? What are the different levels of decision making in the organization? All these are covered in organization governance. We move on to the next term, which is called project governance. Project governance is the execution control layer where you have the framework. It's going to provide the framework for decision making, accountability and control, but all at the project level. You should always ensure that the projects that are being operated in an organization, they are delivering the outcomes aligned with business objectives. Project governance can be established by PMO or project management office. The policies, process related to project management efforts are getting defined as part of this governance. Policies and procedures need to be set up for risk management, for cost management, for communication management, for change management and any other aspects of project management. You need a governance in place to plan projects. How do you plan projects? How do you manage projects? How do you ensure that the projects are managed and they are compliant? How do you ensure that the projects are compliant with regulations? How do you ensure that the projects are compliant with GDPR? How do you ensure that the projects are compliant with safety? How do you ensure the projects are compliant with security? You need governance in place to govern the projects to comply with all these standards. Here, the roles, responsibilities, and the decision making specific to each project is going to be defined. Governance boards get established, steering committees get established, escalation process get defined. Governance which will be in place to ensure project stays within scope, within schedule, within cost, and meeting the quality objectives. Governance which is going to define standards for projects which are managed in an organization. Who is going to approve the project? How is the project success measured? Who owns risk and escalations? You will get answers to all of these questions under project governance, which is going to provide control and oversight for project execution. We'll move on to the next term, which is called organization culture. Organization culture is an influence layer. It talks about the values, beliefs, and the behaviors that guide how people work in an organization. It is going to talk about the shared values, beliefs, and behaviors which will guide how people perform actions in an organization. It is going to influence decision making, collaboration, the risk response in our projects. Culture is going to shape team motivation. Culture is going to shape communication, stakeholder engagement, conflict resolution. All of these aspects are shaped by culture. For example, in a collaborative culture, projects are more flexible and adaptive. In a bureaucratic culture, processes are rigid but predictable. Culture represents the soft power of governance. Example, leadership style, employee values, communication norms, risk appetite, risk tolerance, all these are covered under culture. Culture and governance interact. Governance defines rules. Understand this point, it's important. Governance defines rules, but culture influences how the rules are followed. Example, a risk-averse culture may lead to strict governance, while an innovative culture may push for more flexible governance. This means governance will define rules, but culture is going to influence how rules are followed. We move on to the next term, which is called PMO, Project Management Office. Project Management Office is a bridge layer. It acts as a bridge between the organization governance and project governance. Provides standards, tools, methodologies, and oversight to ensure consistency. Project Management Office is not an individual. You can consider it as a department in organization, and Project Management Office will do multiple roles. They can provide supportive roles, controlling roles, or directive roles. Supportive role means they will provide methodologies, policies, project management templates, lessons learned for managing projects. Controlling role means moderate level of control on the project, meaning they can train people on project management aspects. They can provide the required guidance on how to manage project delivery. Director role means higher control of project, meaning you have high authority over the projects and you can be directly responsible for the results of specific projects. Project Management Office ensures consistency in execution across multiple projects and programs. PMO is going to translate the strategic governance requirements. When you talk about strategic governance, there are certain rules and requirements which are at a strategic level. It is going to translate these strategic governance requirements into practical policies, methods, templates, and frameworks that project managers and other employees will need to follow when they manage and deliver project executions. Tools, guidance, reporting formats. PMO is going to support the governance structure such as steering committee. PMOs can prioritize projects. Centralized communication is happening only with the help of PMOs. PMOs can help provide resources. PMOs can manage the interdependencies between the project, program, and portfolios. Primary function of PMO would be to deeply analyze the information from all the projects that are running in an organization, understand and analyze the information that they derive from the project execution activities, assess them, and see if the organization is achieving the strategic objectives. Strategic to tactical translation happens here in Project Management Office. We move on to the next layer, which is the bottom layer called Project Execution. This is where the actual work happens. Deliverables are built, progress is tracked, outcomes are achieved. Project execution is governed by the project governance, certain rules. It is supported by PMO, and project execution is influenced by organizational culture. The delivery layer, where projects are planned, executed, and controlled. It is directly influenced by the project governance through policies, standards, and oversight. It is also directly influenced by organizational culture through motivation, decision-making styles, collaboration. We'll move on to the next term, which is called organization structure. How is the organization organized is what we are talking here. Organization can be organized in the form of departments. Organization can be organized in form of projects. You are a project manager. Do you know what level of authority you have in the organization that you belong to? Do you know whom to contact when you want resource requirements or any help for resources? How do you handle communications? You need to understand the type of organization you belong to get answers to these questions. There are three types of org structure. One is the functional, second one is project oriented, third one is matrix. We'll talk about functional. In a functional organization is grouped by department. They are grouped by specialities. You have sales department, finance department, marketing department, and so on in this specific organization. Projects happen within a department. You have a project running in sales department, you have a project running in finance department, and so on. In case you need help on project work from other departments, say sales department needs project work from finance department, then employee of that particular department is going to send request to the sales department head, who communicates with the finance department head. Only the department heads would be doing the communication. In all other cases, communication stays within project. Team members report to only one supervisor. There's a great career path here, especially on specialty perspective, because there's more emphasis on specialization here than on project management. Project manager is going to have little or zero authority. We move on to the next term, which is called project oriented structure. This is where organization is organized in the form of projects. Teams work on only projects, only project related work. They don't have any other department work like they do in case of functional organization. Once the project is completed, they don't have a permanent place. They don't have a place to go. They cannot go back to a department. Hence, once the project is completed, they either go back to bench, or they need to find another project, or they need to find another employer. Communication happens within the project. There's a very high level of authority for project manager. The next structure we're talking about is matrix, which is a blend of both functional and project oriented structure. There are two managers. Team members report to two bosses. One is the project manager, the other one is the functional manager. Team members do project work, they also do departmental work. Metrics organization is again split into strong metrics, weak metrics, and balanced metrics. Strong metrics means power rests with the project manager. Weak metrics means power rests with the functional manager. In a weak matrix, project manager plays two roles. One is explorator role, one is coordinator role. In a balanced matrix, power is shared equally between the functional manager and the project manager. If you look at this diagram, FM stands for functional manager, PM stands for project manager. They both equally share the authority when it comes to balanced matrix. Decision making is going to be collaborative in a balanced matrix. You can leverage both functional expertise as well as project focus in a balanced matrix. Decision making, resource allocation, accountability will be shared responsibilities in a balanced matrix. Example, a software company where functional managers control technical skills, training and career paths, project managers control schedules, budget and deliverables. Both must negotiate and collaborate on resources. This is an example of a balanced matrix. In a matrix organization, information flow is better vertically and horizontally. Scarce resources are maximum utilized. Team members have a permanent place, unlike projectized organizations. Coordination is expected to be better in this type of an organization. One of the biggest disadvantages is that you report to two bosses, so communication is going to be complex. Resource allocation could be complex. There will definitely be conflicting priorities between functional managers and project managers. We have covered all the concepts in the context of organization. A project manager who is part of an organization, as a first step, needs to understand these attributes, because we very well know that these attributes will govern your actions when you execute projects. We have come to the end of this episode. Hope the knowledge is valuable. Thank you for tuning in.